Hello. Well, I'm going to answer what Jonathan asked, or what the subject that Jonathan mentioned. Uh, Immediately I read this subject. I remember 1927 text written by Freud, and it was a worry that in this moment exists, because he was reflecting in this text, that is so good is the new advances like the airplane, and like the telephone, that you can communicate with the other person in the other side of the world, and you quickly came to the airplane. But at the same time, he was saying that if the great developments of the civilization, the cultural advances weren't happening, we have not to the need we have not to need to a plane or the fan or the phone, because li- we will live together in the same place with our. Yes, I remember that. I read this when I was 20 years old. Um, I I think that I'm part of the new advances and new technologies. So I'm not impartial, because it's something that me and my family never question it. We all we always we all always think, have thought that it's good, the advances, and it's for the good of the population, for the good for the people. But in 19 and in the beginning of 21 century, it start to be a worry that a worry about the disadvantages that the new technologies cause in people, and people start to reflect about that to improve the improve these advances, and try to supreme the disadvantages. And I suppose that is it's some kind of standard answer what I'm saying, but I'm really think that I think that the new technologies are very great and produce a lot of benefit to the people. But it's true that it produce some kind of disadvantages, and we have know where we are going to. It's possible. So well, we can to improve that. Um, well, I want to read two news to practice my pronunciation, and I'm reading without previous reading. That's what is writing. It says in capitals ERA, San Juan. It's meaning uh, it's meaning Naviarchi, Argentine Navy San Juan. It's a submarine that was sunk a month ago. We we try to find the submarine during many months. Ara in Spanish, Ara San Juan case. First indicted naval officers to testify. Two other suspects, Captain Hector Aníbal Alonso and Commander Hugo Miguel Correa, are due to give evidence to the court later this week. The first member of Argentina's Navy to be indicted on charge relating to the explosion and sinking of the submarine Ara San Juan 2 years ago, a tragedy that left 44 crew members dead, chose not to give testimony in court on Tuesday. Ex-Lieutenant Commander Jorge Andres Zulia, the former logistics chief of the submarine fleet, is one of the 3 Navy officers called in for questioning by federal judge Marta Yáñez. The federal judge over the probe investigating why the vessel sank in the South Atlantic. The testimony of Zulia, who was running logistics when the Ara San Juan lost base at Mar del Plata on November 15, 2017, was scheduled to be the first of the 3 men named as suspects to testify in what's being called an inquiry into the crime. He was notified on October 11 along with Captain Hector Aníbal Alonso and Commander Hugo Miguel Correa. Defense Minister blames Ara San Juan sinking on lack of training. Although details of Zulia's court appearances were kept fairly secret and the charge Yáñez planned to levy were not released, sources close to the case told Telman. He arrived at 10 a.m. local time in the morning to federal court without a lawyer. The absence triggered the use of government-provided counsel, causing a delay as the court waited for the arrival of a defense lawyer from the local Comodoro Rivadavia district. After choosing 5, Zulia left the building less than 15 minutes later. He also asked that the other plaintiff in the case not to be present for his presentation. Correa and Alonso will testify later this week. Correa will go appear on Wednesday and Alonso will follow on Thursday. Angry relatives of Ara San Juan crew members demand answers. Plaintiff attorney Valeria Carreras has warned that the hearings will end just 1 day before the window expires for charging these men with the crime of failure of a public official, as October 25 marks 2 years since the accident. Searching for answers. Over the past year, multiple investigations have been opened to determine the cause of the Ara San Juan sinking and to attribute blame for its loss. As well as the aforementioned criminal investigation in Judge Yáñez's courtroom, there is also an independent commission comprised of 3 submarine experts set up by the executive branch and family, a bicameral commission in Congress. The Ara San Juan disappeared mysteriously in November 2017 onto Argentina's naval base in Mar del Plata. Its wreckage was located almost exactly 1 year later on November 16, 2018 by the Seabed Constructor, a ship owned by USA search firm Ocean Infinity, after a long traumatic search for submarine that drew attention from across the globe. Navy officials later the submarine suffered an implosion, which caused the vessel to sink. The remains of the vessel now lay of 70 to 75 meters of debris, 920 meters below sea level, some 40-60 kilometers, 460 kilometers south of the Patagonian city of Comodoro Rivadavia. Family members have previously expressed frustration over the lack of the answer provided by the authorities, the loss of so many naval officers. Was another news. And Fernandez strike blows on corruption in second debate. More aggressive tone to second and last debate in Buenos Aires as President Macri links rival to corrupt Kirchnerite officials and Peronist rival hits back, citing President's family. Fuengar del Caño, the pick of other four candidates. Argentina's presidential race took on a new tone as it entered its final stretch on Sunday after President Mauricio Macri and opposition frontrunner Alberto Fernandez clashed repeatedly in the second and final debate before the country goes to the polls. The Juntos por el Cambio leader, seeking re-election in 1 week's time, adopted a more aggressive approach in contrast to his performances the first debate, attacking his Frente de Todos rival on issues like corruption through the sitting names and convicted Kirchnerite officials. It's hard to believe that he saw nothing. It's hard to believe that he saw nothing, Macri said at one point, accusing Fernandez, who served as cabinet chief in government led by Néstor Kirchner and Cristina Fernández de Kirchner, of turning blind eye to corrupt in public works projects. When I had differences with the government, I quit and went to my home, the Peronist hopeful defended. It has never summoned me. I have nothing to do with corruption. Buenos Aires sus Madrid Metro for another link. Fernandez references investigations involving members of the president's family, including his late father, Franco Macri. They alluded to judicial investigations involving the president's cousin and brother over direct payment of bribes related to corrupt public works projects. A probe that also involves former President Fernandez, the Kirchner-Fernandez running mate. The two also clashes on the role of state institutions. Macri appointed judges at will and pursued other judges. We must put a stop to businessmen who corrupt and officials who are corrupted, Fernandez said in an exchange on the president's use of the crease. Gesturing to his right with his hand and as he criticized the president, who stood at his podium with his arms crossed, there was clearly no love lost between the two. Neither offered much in the way of policy. Argentina's stark polarization, known as La Grieta, was dominant. Sunday's debate was the last opportunity for the six candidates: President Macri, Alberto Fernández, Roberto Lavagna, Nicolás del Caño, and Juan José Gómez Centurión, to convince undecided voters to back them at the ballot box. The candidates had four discussion points to address, opening with security, each hopeful had on each subject, followed by additional shorter rounds to pose questions and provide responses. They moved on to three other topics after that: employment, productions and infrastructure, federalism, quality and the role of the state, followed by social development, the environment and housing. Again, there was no direct interaction, but Macri and Fernandez ensured they found moments to criticize the other. The standout pick from the outsider candidate was Frente de Izquierda left-winger Nicolás Caño, who bettered his performance in the debates in Santa Fe 1 week ago. The only candidate to dedicate any real time to green issues of the three topics listed under the third discussion topic of the night. Del Caño scored points as he highlighted a string of environmental mishaps and warned of a lack of urgency in fighting climate change. In this section, I want to refer to a pack where there is no Greta, he said, referring to climate change and decreasing pollution and the looting of natural resources. He went on to reference mining spills, fracking at Vaca Muerta and the use of glyphosate. The Córdoba-born politician attacked both of the top candidates with gusto, a move echoed by all the other candidates. Lavagna went on to call for stiffer policies and punishment to tackle gender violence. Esper accusing everyone but himself of being part of the problem, compared the political class to a virus that had destroyed the country. He said he was doing it for the youngster who think the only exit from crisis is Ezeiza, our airport. The other outspoken outsider, Gomez Centurion, accuses Kirchnerite leaders of running a true kleptocracy, before closing by declaring he was not afraid to face either progressivism or the mafias or the corruption that has destroyed Argentina. Rivals spoke quickly, seeming like he was in a rush to squeeze everything in. He didn't even look, let alone gesture at Fernandez as he spoke. The president started down the camera, expanding a second term. Unfortunately for him, the country is being squeezed by recession. The economy will shrink by 3% this year. Unemployment is up. Poverty has reached 35.4% and inflation is likely to end this year above 57%. Fernandez, 60, is the favorite to win next Sunday, after emerging with a 16-point lead in the August in Paso primaries. Most pollsters believed he may even improve on the 48% he took them. He need 45% of the vote of 40% and a difference of 10 points over Macri to be elected president. Despite all that, he was less calm this time around than the fact to ride him at points. The president, alleging his Peronist challenger, will go light on criminals accused the Kirchnerite government of starting justice in Argentina, following door, highlighting his government's record on the fight against the narcos and drug trafficking. Macri said previous governments were responsible for the growth of the drugs trade in Argentina. Fernandez countered by attacking Macri on the economy, accusing the president of Uber-easing the economy, are monotributistas who ride a bicycle and deliver pizza. He charged. He accused the incumbent him of favoring his business friend and his family with contracts and deals from the government. President, in all matters related to energy, did this to fill the pocket with their friends, he said. You wonder why, as a cabinet chief, did not see corruption in public works projects, and you, in the Macri clan, did you not see corruption in public works? He did not see what was happening in his family. Then he told us when his father died that he was responsible. President Lestalk seriously. According to the TN News channel, that was considered below the belt by Macri, who reportedly called his rival immoral in a later wrote during an advertising break, saying his father wasn't there to defend himself. After the debate, coverage reached fever pitch. Polls were conducted on who won. The quickest one said the incumbent, and speculation raged about whether Macri and Fernandez had shaken hands on stage at the end. TV channels showed mobile phone footage, zooming in as close as possible to tell. Neither looked at each other in the face. A handshake was implied but covered by another body. Campaign officials later said they had. If there is no change in attitude after the elections, the transitions will be extremely difficult, political analyst Rosendo Fraga told AFP after the debate. Each candidate worked to consolidate his own electorate. Macri pointed to an anti-Kirchnerismo Hernandez to his supporters, aware of his wide electoral advantage. Fernandez did not risk too much and missed the opportunity to talk about the future, concluded political analyst Enrique Zuleto Pucheiro. Marcos Novaro, a sociologist and doctor of philosophy of the University of Buenos Aires, told on Sunday that his debate will not be decisive in terms of choice. People are very determined. He described the economic crisis as key in potential deciding the election. Afterwards, one of the president's inner circle told Perfil reporter Ezequiel Spillman that Macri a victim. Another told the same journalist that they had intended to force Alberto to respond even for corruption issues. That had been achieved through the citing of jailed former Kirchnerite officials such as Ricardo Jaime, José López and Julio De Vido. We let Kirchnerismo show itself as it, the official added, denying being aggressive. By the end of the debate, Fernandez was mentioning and embracing the record of the Kirchnerite administrations, talking about how we will get Argentina on its feet, as Nestor and Cristina did before him. Yet, confusingly, he seemed to think La Grieta was not out in force. Everyone, he pitched, we can tell half the country we dream of, he closed. Well, thank you.